We're here to destroy you. Huh?
We lost hope that things would ever be good again. We scavenged what we could, while we defended what remained. We call it Apoaclypseburg, and it is a heckish place to live. Show weakness, and you'll be eaten alive. This new life has toughened us all. Well, toughened most of us. Emmett wasn't about to let the near total destruction of the...
How the heck is it possible to go from what I would call a Lego masterpiece, which was Lego DC Supervillains, to this game? I don't know if the Lego Movie 2 movie was just that bad. Maybe it was, because I have not seen that movie, and it did not get nearly as good reviews as the first one did. But this one... This game, I mean, it's horrible. Okay, now I gotta start this video by saying I was provided this game for free by Warner Brothers. I thank them for that. That is awesome. But it doesn't change that this game is not good. When I get sent a game for free, I have a little thing I have to sign that says if I recommend buying it, I have to disclose that it was given to me for free by the publisher. That's not going to be a problem with this game because I am not going to recommend that you buy it for any more than like $5. Now, the first Lego Movie 1 game was pretty good. It was exactly the same as every other Lego game before it. Had 15 or so levels that went, maybe had like 10, but it went through the movie, and it was about 4 hours long, and it was fun. Now, this game is maybe 3 hours long. I'm not actually too sure because I had it running, so I don't know exactly how long it took me to beat it, but it's not that long. At least this time it has real-ish Lego cutscenes. I didn't like about how the first Lego Movie game that it used cutscenes from the actual movie itself. In this one, it's got kind of the more Lego game style cutscenes, but that's about all I can say that's good about it. The music is terrible from beginning to end, except that one song that we all know when it comes to the Lego Movie game. And the music just gets worse as the levels go on. The controls are fine, but they feel jagged, and at first how choppy this game is kind of bugged me, but then I realized they were probably trying to go for that stop motion look that you get in the movies, and in that case I got over it. The jagged emotions make sense. Also, I'm talking over all of these cutscenes and dialogue. I am sorry for that. I'll probably have a video of all the collection of these cutscenes down in the description if you want to watch that on your own. Now, in every other Lego game that exists by Traveler's Tales, you have a couple of Lego minifigures around you that follow you. Unless you're in the overworld, in which case you have two because the game obviously is co-op. When you're in the overworld, you can swap to any character you want at any time. Now, this game is kind of like Lego Ninjago. It's permanently overworld, but you don't get a bunch of characters following you. You just get to swap between the characters at any time you want. You have these huge, obnoxious tutorial menus popping up every single time something is new. Luckily, I believe you can delete those or disable those. And there's also a colorblind mode in this game. I am not aware if there's one of those in previous Lego games, so I think they finally got around to adding that. Huge thumbs up for that because they always love to have puzzles in these games that have red, blue, purple, or yellow and green colors, and I am in fact colorblind. I have a hard time with some of those, but this game made it pretty easy, so that was kind of cool. The first tool we get is this sort of Metroid Prime scanner. It lets you scan a bunch of different objects, and it'll allow you to build them later at will. So you can go around scanning everything you want, but I would kind of suggest to do this when you're really bored. Otherwise, there's pretty much no point to it. We don't really use this scanner a whole lot, except in this level, and a little bit later we'll be using it a couple of times, but the game does not do a very good job utilizing every single tool it gives you, and we're probably going to have like 10 tools by the end of the game, or more. So, once we get to the end of this level, which is Apoaclypseburg, and this is part 1 of 2 because the first level is pretty long, it's like half an hour or so long, we're gonna see that there's really not a lot of levels in the game. And every single level is exactly the same. You're brought into this sort of open world little planet, and you have to collect what are called master bricks. So if you see up in the top left corner, there is 0 out of 12 right now next to those bricks. Those are the master builder bricks. We have to collect 12 of those to exit this level. This, when I saw this in this first level, drove me insane. I hate when games block my progress by forcing me to get collectibles. Now, luckily, this is a Lego game, meaning it's extremely easy. There's not much challenge at all. I'll get to that in a second, though. It is a Lego game, so it's very easy to collect those Lego bricks. They are pretty scattered throughout the world. Some of them have like 50 bricks per world. I think there's 475. Maybe there's like 500. I think there's 500 total in the entire game. I think they're pretty much the equivalent to gold bricks in previous Lego games, but they're ludicrously easy to get compared to even gold bricks in every other Lego game before us. So when you're playing through these levels, you have to fill in all of those, and I am going to be collecting all of those as we go through the levels. They're not hard to find at all, and if you pay attention to your mini-map, they'll let you know when ones are nearby. If there's ever a brick that you can't get, just continue on. There will definitely be bricks that you can get again. There's vehicles we can travel on. We'll be seeing that here in a second. We get to see all the familiar characters that we recognize from the Lego movie, but there's really no redeeming thing about this game that I can say. I just can't. It's not good. It feels like they ran out of time and had to release this, and I kind of feel like it never should have been released, and I don't know why the beginning of 2019 is just that kind of year for games. We got Anthem, which was clearly unfinished, and we get this game, which I think if this was exactly their vision, then I'm even more disappointed. I'm hoping it's just that they want to keep their 2 Lego game a year schedule, and they just had to churn this thing out. On top of not being good in a whole lot of respects, Lego games recently have done a very good job keeping you interested and entertained as you go through the level, meaning that your characters are talking to each other, there's hilarious dialogue, it's really fun. It's a Lego game. And I'm hoping the source material, the movie itself, is mostly the cause for how undesirable this particular game is, just because it really seems, like I said, I haven't seen the movie yet, but it really seems to me that they over-kiddyified the second movie. And the first one, obviously, was geared toward younger audiences. It's a Lego movie, makes total sense, no problem with that. But this was like, they subtracted the target age by 10, and it was already pretty low. So I don't know what the heck was going on. This whole game is extremely kiddyified, and I almost felt strange playing it, like I shouldn't have been. But I did, I got through it, and it was worth one single playthrough for not having to pay for the game. If I had to pay for this game, I'd have been extremely disappointed, and I hate saying that with Lego games, because I want them to keep making more, but it's almost like they were ambitious with this, but that ambition isn't always a good thing. They do a ton of new things that we've never seen in Lego, and maybe this will help future games be a little bit better now that they've got this first initial attempt out of the way. I guess we'll see, but I'm really hoping they return to the original formula, because as I was saying with the dialogue and how the characters always talk to each other, and the game did a good job keeping you interested, in this game, unless you're talking to these quest NPCs, or what's her name is narrating over whatever you're doing at that particular moment in the story, the game is silent. No one's talking, and you're not talking to anybody, your character, because you're constantly swapping your character out. Like, I'm actually supposed to be Emmett right now, and there's going to be something a little bit later, I think in the next level, so the third video, we're going to be building Emmett's house, and it's not really going to make any sense because I'm not Emmett. Like, I'm confused, I'm thinking Emmett's gone, but I forgot I can switch to Emmett whenever I want. And we're going to unlock other characters we can switch to whenever we want, unless of course the story requires. Here's another use for the scanner. If you see Scylla, I don't even know what word I was trying to say there, transparent. If you see transparent things, you can scan them to reveal them. Now, the bosses in this game are interesting, and we do get to fight one at the end of Apoaclypseburg, so that'll be at the end of the second level. But I think that the bosses, again, were kind of like an overly ambitious type of thing that they wanted to do a lot of ideas for, didn't have enough time, and churned out this mess. So the good things I can say is that the graphics are cool. I mean, it's, you know, they've been good at that recently anyway, that's expected. The controls are fine. I never really got angry at the controls like I have in previous LEGO games. And I was gonna say something else. Glitches, I didn't run into any. And that's a shocker to me. I didn't once run into a game-breaking glitch. The game never crashed, it never froze, I didn't delete my save file, things that have happened in every other previous LEGO game. And that was a nice surprise. I was expecting that, especially this game, to happen. So despite it not being what I would say creatively good, it seems to be functional. I don't know how it is on consoles. I am playing on PC with an Xbox controller, so that might, I don't know, it might have something to do with it. Sometimes when you play on a PC with a lot more power, games just run a lot better. It depends on a million things, but the other thing you'll be noticing is that we're using blueprints to build a ton of LEGO objects, and we have to collect different colored LEGO pieces, and we collect those by destroying objects around us that are of similar color. The best way to just pile up on these is literally just destroy everything, collect it all, and probably by the end of the second level you're going to have more colors of the types of bricks that you're going to need up until the end of the game, and if you're ever short, there will always be one nearby. So I said earlier this game was particularly easy even for a LEGO game, and I can't believe I'm saying that they managed to make a LEGO game easier, but it's to the point where there's almost no purpose in me even creating these videos. The game literally walks you through the whole thing entirely by itself, and I understand, again, it is a younger audience, this type of game, so it does make sense, but I still am standing by saying that when I was young, you know, I played games that were evil in their progression. Like, they literally said nothing. Like, I played those games and I did fine. Now, I'm not saying back in the old day games were better. I'm just saying that we were okay. We managed it. You know, we got through it and they were memorable because of that. A game like this isn't going to be memorable at all, I don't think. At least not to me. Well, it will be because it's probably the second worst LEGO game they've ever created. The first one is still LEGO Indiana Jones 2. That is still the worst LEGO game, in my opinion, that Traveler's Tales has ever made. And I almost get the impression, I'm totally making this up, but I almost get the impression with Indiana Jones 2 that they went from liking their jobs to really not liking their jobs. And then they kind of had like a, again, I'm totally making this up, but it feels like they had a reawakening and they had fun again with the future ones. And again, I'm not worried about these LEGO games turning out like this in the future because they did such a dang good job with LEGO DC Supervillains. That one was amazing. I love that game. That was probably one of the greatest LEGO games we're gonna get for like the next 5 years. This is also probably the worst LEGO game we're gonna get for hopefully the next 10 years. It'll be kind of shocking if they can manage to do any worse than this. So the builder page will have a couple of useful objects. We've already seen the bouncer, the micromanager, and the generator, and we're just going to use those to do whatever puzzle kind of comes our way. And it's kind of going to get to the point where I'm not too sure what use there is in me talking over this game. I probably will every now and then, but we'll see how it goes. There's going to be a lot more stuff we can build with the blueprints, and later on we're going to be able to access even more objects. Everything that you scanned, you're going to access from that menu, and there's also going to be kind of a complicated, well, I thought a little bit overly complicated way of accessing all the quest objects that we're going to need. The combat in this game I actually sort of liked, because they didn't just throw random, endless piles of enemies at you, and the enemies that you see, once you defeat them, they're pretty much gone for good. That's probably because this is entirely an open world game. So I did like that because it meant that they weren't annoying me by plowing on me all the dang time when I'm trying to build stuff. So that was kind of cool. I did like the combat in this game. You get a super move if you push and hold X. I don't know if we get to use it yet, but that builds up over time and we can use that to take out groups of enemies pretty quickly. Here we're learning from Metalbeard how to use the thumper, and this will be able to dig up piles of dirt, which is something that's traditionally done with clawed minifigures in previous LEGO games. And I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff in this that they totally forget about. They threw out everything that they sort of had built up in all the previous LEGO games. I don't, like, you know, what, 10 years now or so of making these games, and why restart? Like, why completely redo this? I don't really understand. I'm hoping it's just because the movie didn't give them a whole lot to work with, and they needed to do something, so this is the best they could do. And if that is true, then thumbs up to them. I feel sorry that they had to deal with that movie. But like I said, I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen that the reviews weren't nearly as high as the first ones. Anyway, there's another minute or so, maybe a little longer of this video left, so I think I'm going to stop talking here. I'm going to continue on in the next video where we're going to go over the boss fight for Apoaclypseburg, and then we'll continue on the walkthrough from there.
Oh no! This is terrible! Oh, this is Unikitty's sprinkler. You can build this to put out nearby fires. The bat turret was our only hope of fighting off the alien ship.